Most people think of samurai as warriors, men with swords, feudal Japan, ancient history. But Bushido, the code of the samurai, contains some of the most practical wisdom for modern life that you will ever encounter. And the more I studied it, the more I realized the samurai weren't just fighters. They were philosophers, and their philosophy might be exactly what the modern world is missing. Let's talk about Bushido. The word Bushido means the way of the warrior. It was the ethical code that governed the lives of the samurai class in feudal Japan, a set of principles so demanding, so rigorous, and so comprehensive that living by them was considered a lifelong practice, not a destination. Bushido was never written down as a single document for most of its history. It was transmitted through culture, through training, through example. The most famous written account came in 1900, when a Japanese scholar named Inazo Nitobe wrote a book called Bushido, the Soul of Japan, explaining the samurai code to a Western audience. Nitobe identified 7 core virtues of Bushido, and each one has something profound to teach us today. The first virtue is gi rectitude, or moral justice. Gi is the ability to make the right decision, even when it costs you something. Not just knowing what is right, but having the backbone to act on it. The samurai believed that a person without moral clarity was dangerous to themselves and to everyone around them. They trained their judgment as rigorously as they trained their swordsmanship. In the modern world, we have access to more information than any human beings in history, and yet we're often paralyzed by moral ambiguity. We know what the right thing to do is. We just find endless reasons not to do it. Gi says know what is right, then do it, without hesitation, without negotiation. That's the standard. The second virtue is courage, but not just physical courage. Bushido distinguishes between 2 kinds of courage. There's the courage to face danger and death, the obvious kind. And then there's moral courage, the courage to do what is right, even when it is unpopular, even when it costs you, even when no one is watching. The samurai had a saying, perceiving what is right and doing it not reveals a lack of courage. In other words, knowing the right thing and not doing it isn't wisdom. It's cowardice. Real courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in spite of fear. The third virtue is jin benevolence, or compassion. This is the one that surprises most people. A warrior code built around compassion, but the samurai understood something that modern culture often forgets true. Strength has nothing to prove. A person who is genuinely powerful physically, mentally, emotionally, can afford to be gentle. They don't need to dominate or intimidate. Their strength shows in their care for others. The greatest samurai were known not just for their skill in battle, but for their mercy toward the defeated, their protection of the weak, and their deep loyalty to those they served. Jin is the reminder that strength without compassion is just violence, and that the measure of a person's character is not how they treat those above them, but how they treat those below them. The fourth virtue is rei, respect and courtesy. The samurai were famously formal. Every interaction had a proper form. Every relationship had its protocol. Every action, however small, was done with full attention and care. This wasn't empty ritual. It was an expression of a deep belief that every person deserves to be seen, acknowledged, and treated with dignity. That how you do anything is how you do everything. In a world of casual disrespect where people ghost each other, half listen during conversations, and treat basic courtesy as optional, rei stands as a radical statement. The way you treat people matters. Every time. No exceptions. The fifth virtue is Makoto, honesty and sincerity. The samurai considered their word to be absolute. A samurai who made a promise was expected to keep it no matter the cost. There was no contract, no legal document, no witness required. Their word was their bond. Makoto goes deeper than just not lying. It means being exactly who you appear to be. No performance, no manipulation, no gap between your public face and your private self. In an age of personal branding, carefully curated online personas, and strategic self-presentation, Makoto cuts through all of it. Just be who you are, completely, consistently. The sixth virtue is Meiyo, honor. For the samurai, honor was not a feeling. It was a standard of conduct that existed independently of anyone's opinion. You could have honor that no one recognized or lose your honor privately in a moment when no one was watching. Because honor was never about reputation. It was about integrity, the alignment between your values and your actions at all times in all circumstances. The modern world runs on reputation, on likes, on reviews, on what other people think of you. Mayo offers a different question entirely, not what do others think of me, but am I living in a way that I can respect? Those are very different questions, and the answer to the second one is the only one that actually matters. The seventh virtue is chugi, loyalty and devotion. The samurai's loyalty was absolute. To their lord, to their companions, to their cause. This loyalty was not blind obedience, it was a conscious, chosen commitment that was renewed every day. In modern life, loyalty has become complicated. We live in an age of options, of constant switching, of hedging every commitment. But the samurai understood. Something important depth of commitment is where meaning is found. Shallow relationships, shallow work, shallow commitments produce shallow lives. Chugi asks, what are you truly committed to? And are you living like it? Now, you might be thinking this all sounds intense. Who can actually live like this? And you're right, the full samurai code was demanding in ways that don't directly translate to modern life. The samurai also held beliefs and practiced customs that we would rightly reject today. But that's not the point. The point is that Bushido represents something that our culture is desperately hungry for: a code, a standard, a set of values that you hold yourself to, not because someone is watching, but because it's who you are. Most of us are improvising our values as we go. We decide what's right based on how we feel in the moment, what's convenient, what everyone else is doing. The samurai had a different approach. They decided who they were going to be, and then they worked every day to become that person. What strikes me most about Bushido is how different it is from the self-improvement culture we live in today. Modern self-improvement is largely about feeling better, more confident, more productive, more successful. The focus is on what you can get. Bushido is about what you can give. The standard it holds you to is not, are you happy? But are you worthy? Are you worthy of the trust people place in you? Are you worthy of the life you've been given? Are you living up to your own deepest values? That's a harder question, and a more important one. Before we close, I want to give you something practical. 7 virtues, 7 questions, 1 for each day of the week. Monday, Ji. What is the right thing to do today that I have been avoiding? Tuesday, you. What am I afraid to do that I know I should do? Wednesday, Jin, who in my life could use my compassion or support right now? Thursday, am I treating the people around me with the respect they deserve? Friday, Makoto. Is there anywhere in my life where I am not being fully honest? Saturday, Mayo. Am I living in a way that I can genuinely respect? Sunday, Chugi, what matters most to me, and am I actually living like it does? These aren't easy questions. They're not supposed to be. Bushido was never about being comfortable. It was about being worthy. Worthy of the life you've been given. Worthy of the people who depend on you. Worthy of the values you claim to hold. There is one more thing I want to say about Bushido that I think matters more than any of the 7 virtues individually. Bushido is not a checklist. It's a practice. The samurai didn't wake up one day having achieved courage or honor or compassion. They woke up every morning and chose to pursue those things again. In small decisions, in difficult moments, in the countless choices that no one else would ever see or know about. Character in the samurai tradition is not something you have. It's something you do every single day, in the small things as much as the large ones. How you speak to people when you're tired, whether you keep your word when it's inconvenient, whether you choose the honest path when the dishonest one is easier, whether you treat the person who can do nothing for you with the same care as the person who can do everything for you. This is where character is actually built, not in the grand heroic moments, but in the daily, ordinary, unglamorous choices that accumulate over time into who you actually are. The samurai understood this. That's why they trained relentlessly, lived by a strict code, and held themselves to impossible standards. Not to be perfect, but to keep reaching. Bushido is an invitation to reach. The samurai are gone, but the code endures. Because the need for courage, honesty, compassion, and integrity doesn't belong to feudal Japan. It belongs to every human being in every era who decides to take their own character seriously. You just need to decide what you stand for, and then stand for it every day. without exception. That's the way of the warrior.